I am the Queen of Zandalar, and a queen kneels to no one.
They should use their minds to save the world, instead of devising ways to tear it apart.
No. Not while the Black Moon still cries out for vengeance. Not until the Horde has answered for its treachery.
The war is serving its purpose. Stay focused on the endgame. You know what is to come.
The two essential weapons of an adventurer. A bottle of good gin and a jar of tasty jam. This is Girls Gone WoW!
Hello, you're listening to Girls Gone WoW, show 681, recorded on Sunday the 5th of April 2026. I'm your host EJ, and with me I have my lovely co-host Raven, who's had a week off work this week.
I have.
How lovely.
I have. I've caught up with World of Warcraft, mostly, is what I've done this week, which has been nice.
Excellent.
Better job at catching up with World of Warcraft than I did catching up with sleep, unfortunately. We've got scaffolding on my building at the moment because there's some roofing works going on, and there was a storm last night, and God, I did not get very much sleep last night because the noise of the tarpaulin that's over the top of the scaffolding. Yeah, it was an absolute nightmare. It was so loud. It's often quite noisy in here because I'm in the sort of attic space. It's often quite noisy in here if it's windy outside, but it was even worse yesterday than it usually is. This is why River's gone to bed, I think, because she was obviously kept awake.
Oh, because she's tired.
Yeah, she's very tired.
Poor baby.
Very tired. Yeah. How has your week been?
Yeah. I think the bonus side effects from the upping of my meds, I think that's sort of starting to chill out a little bit.
Very good.
I am very grateful to my husband for supplying me with ginger sweets, for helping with the nausea. I never realised ginger sweets were delicious, but they are delicious. Yum, yum, yum. But also help with the nausea.
I think maybe you have to. I think you have to be nauseous before ginger sweets are delicious. I don't know if they're
maybe
delicious.
That's it.
I don't know
maybe
if they're delicious most of the time.
Because I'm like nom 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 nom.
Yeah. I think this is like the electrolyte tablets that you take when you go walking or whatever. It's like if you drink them when you're actually hydrated, they taste vile. But if you are dehydrated and therefore you need them, they taste amazing. So yeah. Yeah, okay. They were apple and ginger ones, rather than just ginger ones. But yes, I think I think that's probably a measure of your nausea this week.
Absolutely. So yes, I took myself along and got my. They wanted to suck my blood this week to see how things are going, so that was fine. I pootled it down there. So yeah, and obviously we've got a slightly long weekend this weekend because it is the festival of Easter. Or chocolate weekend, or whatever else you fancy this weekend. So
yeah,
hope everyone's having a good one.
Yes, double bank holidays in the UK.
Yes, we get this run of bank holidays now in the UK. So we've got 2 now, and then there'll be one at the end of the month.
No, it's one of the
another one.
There's one at it's the first of the next month. It's not the end of this month.
Yes.
And then at the end of the next month.
Yes. Yes. Get a run of them.
Yeah, we have all of our bank holidays at this time of year for some reason. Slightly
apart
annoying.
From the other one that we have weirdly.
Apart from the one we have in August, yeah, exactly. But that one that we have at the end of August, like parts of Scotland have at a different time. It's very confusing.
Oh.
The worst thing, I tell you, so our HR system. So I employ people who work in 7 different countries around the world, and our HR system doesn't really cope with this particularly well. So I have to input everybody's bank holidays manually because it can't really cope with the fact that there's loads of different public holidays. And I will tell you that public holidays are an absolute fucking nightmare. So in Germany, which is our kind of next biggest country where we employ people, you get different holidays depending on where you live in Germany. So different
Oh.
districts in Germany have different holidays. The same is true in India. They also quite often in Germany have their bank holidays just on like a Wednesday or a Thursday, which I always think is super weird. I always think it's incredibly fucking weird. So it's like, none of the German team will be available tomorrow or Thursday because it's a bank holiday. You're like, why have you got a bank holiday on a Thursday? It's like, oh, well, that's when the date is, because they're all sort of religious. But yeah, so you have to be, like, it's incredibly difficult to work out which public holidays people are actually, like, not working, and when those public holidays are, and whether... You know, if you look up public holidays in Germany, whether you've got the right bit. India's the same. In the US, there are more public holidays than the employer of record that we use in the US gives people. So then you have to work out which public holidays people are actually taking as public holidays, because there are some that are sort of... Because they have, like, federal ones and then they have, like, state ones. And, like, it's just, it's just absolutely, like, it's... Yeah. Public holidays are one of my biggest nightmares. And we have to put them in manually every single year. Oh. So yeah.
So you're one of the few people who likes that bit. You know when you get a really good, like, diary, a really good one, and it has those few pages at the front that has all of the public holidays around the world, and you're like, who needs this?
Me. I need it. I need it. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, there we go.
It's me.
There
those pages are for me.
We've all learned something new.
Yeah. There we go.
Right. Well, let us. Oh, hold on. I'm just going to refresh my other page over here.
Yes. Okay. We need to just have a quick update on the Race to World's First situation.
No, we're good.
Okay, we're all right.
We're all right so far.
So at least we can get to the end of the interesting news of the week, hopefully. It might get outdated very shortly after we finished reading it out.
I literally, so about 20 minutes ago, I just, like, updated, like, the Race to World First bit in my notes, because it had changed, and I'm like, oh, how exciting. So I updated it, I went upstairs, I came down 5 minutes later, just cast my eye over the screen, and I'm like, what do you mean it's changed again?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Liquid have woken up. Oh, okay. So, interesting news of the week. We're not starting with the Race World First, we're starting with the more important fact that it's a new month. So the Dark Moon Fair has reappeared.
Woohoo!
So do go and get your profession's knowledge points from the Dark Moon Fair this week. It also means that the trading post has been restocked, and this time there's a garden theme. There are 4 plant and garden related mounts and 1 pet. There's a new gold chain kini for all of your armor needs. I don't think that's an armor need. I don't think the chain kini is an armor need. I think it's a different sort of need. I'm not quite sure. Okay.
Quite sure what, right. But probably don't. Probably don't wear it into a battleground or something. I think that might be quite dangerous.
There is garden-themed transmog armour and weapons. There is the return of the garden gnome-themed forest dwellers blooming attire, which we had last year. And if you fill the bar, you can get a recolour of that, which is the forest dwellers butterfly attire, which is basically a lavender version of the original set. But the best item this month is Pepe's vacation home. It's an offhand with Pepe in a bird box on a stick. Yeah. I can't understand why everybody wouldn't be taking this item. Even if you don't use offhands, you need this. It's fucking adorable.
Yes, I definitely agree that is the best item. This is a very strange month in the trading post. I had a look and I sort of backed away quite slowly from most of these slightly odd things, but Pepe in a box is pretty cool. So yeah, Pepe in a box definitely wins this month.
There is a staff you can get that's like a giant toadstool on a stick, which I sort of quite like. Like my gnomes would just look adorable
your gnomes
carrying
would look,
that.
Your gnomes would look adorable. My night elf,
exactly.
Rather less so. It's not a very night elf friendly. You can't dress a night elf up as a garden gnome and have this look like. I mean, you're in sort of like Will Ferrell elf territory at that point, I think. and not in a not in a good way. Not in a good way.
No.
So no, we will. My night elf was like, "Oh, Pepe in a box. Yes, I'll have that, and you can keep the rest of it. Thank you very much." So the official WoW Portal Room Discord, which we are part of, we are an official partnered ambassador Discord thing, hosted our first public Q&A this week with Vice President and Executive Producer of WoW, Holly Longdale. And she was absolutely delightful. It was a really, really good Q&A. She discussed a variety of player-submitted questions about the state of WoW and where it's going, and accessibility and social systems, and system design and class design and community and housing, and it took a lot longer than the 30 minutes that it had on the schedule. You can check out the write-up that is on Wowhead, or you can go and have a look at Mr. GM's Twitch, because he restreamed it, so you can just go and play back the whole thing. But it was super interesting. I thought she was really... we love Holly. We love Holly.
We do.
She was super good.
So she answered the most important question, which is the best topping on pizzas is pineapple. Holly is one of us. We love Holly. Yes.
There you go. No more to say.
No more to say, no. So patch 12.0.5 is going to see the arrival of Pride into Azeroth officially.
Oh.
The Darkspear Dash is a new micro holiday running from June the 27th to the 29th. It's going to start with a beach party in the Troll starting area in the Echo Isles and progress into a multicoloured Pride parade across Azeroth, ending with a pool party in the Silvermoon City Fountain. Data mining suggests that there'll be a tabard, toy and title to unlock. The event is based on the running of the Trolls fan event, which has been running on the Feathermoon North American server for years now as an awareness and visibility event for the LGBTQIA+ WoW community, whilst also raising money for the Trevor Project.
Yeah, so, amazing.
Feathermoon is still going to be doing their event, which is raising money, but there is now finally a Pride event in Azeroth.
Amazing.
Delightful news.
Yeah, there have been other Pride events as well in other servers. Obviously, Feathermoon has always been the big one, but we did do an EU one a couple of times, and there was a couple of other people that were doing other unrelated NA ones. So it's really nice that there's going to be a proper place for it this time. Right. I don't think this news is yet out of date. Race to World First.
No, it's up to date. I've just checked it. Currently,
the big three of Liquid, Echo and Method are all sitting at 8 out of 9 in the March on Caldenas. With Bella Wren, Child of Aaliyah, having taken more pulls to bring down than all of the previous bosses put together. Currently, they're into their second day of progression on Lura, with the best current pull at 3.54% from Liquid, who are on 326 pulls. And I can see EJ's cursor there, so that's been live updated.
333.
333 pulls at the time of speaking. The fight's already been nerfed by Blizzard after the teams were struggling with the damage in the first phase from the Heaven's Glaives, which deals high damage and can instantly wipe the raid. So they're now moving slower and have been made easier to see. It's been a funny old Race to World First. I think this multiple raid format is extremely good for casual raiders like us. I think it's brilliant. I think it works super well. I think it's allowed to them to break down the story in a more interesting and accessible way, have the raids feel a bit more meaningful, and I think there's lots of good things about it. Unfortunately, I think the big loser from this new idea and approach to raiding is the Race to World First, where last week everybody else they cleared everything else on Mythic quite quickly, and then basically had to spend 3 days going back and doing splits, waiting for the March on Caldenas to open. And now, so they've had a sort of weird lull, which I don't think is very helpful for the sort of entertainment aspect of the Race to World First. But now they're all 8 out of 9. Lura will be coming down at some point soon, probably today. I would think if we're
Yeah.
at 3.54, so that's not quite a full lockout it's taken to get this third installment of the raid down.
Yeah, so Liquid, I think, have only just got woken up. So middle of the afternoon when I wrote the show notes, their best pull was at 17%.
Okay.
Then a couple of hours later, Echo had pulled a 10.43, and I'm like, oh. And then Liquid obviously woke up and went, oh fuck, we should get up.
Yeah.
And have now done this 3.54. So yeah, I'm just going to keep my eye on it while we're podcasting, just in case anything exciting happens. But that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot of pulls they've done so far. They're at, Echo and Liquid are about the same number of pulls. Method is about 30 or 40 pulls behind the other two.
Okay, so yeah, we're into the mid 300s on the pull counter. Which is a substantial jump in effort from the earlier bosses. So obviously something's not quite right there. But yeah, never mind. I don't think this is their greatest. I don't think it's a particularly good race to world first in many ways. But there we go.
No, and I was kind of expecting, I think everybody was kind of expecting that this was just going to be a bit difficult, because it's like, okay, how is everyone going to cope with the add-on changes? What do they actually mean? I mean, obviously these teams have their own people that can write them add-ons on the fly. So there was something they actually, Blizzard hotfixed something, because I didn't write this in, but basically there was some sort of tactic, and I think it was Liquid had obviously got an add-on writer who had written an add-on for them to deal with it, and then very shortly afterwards a hotfix went in, and that add-on was no longer working.
Yeah, I do think. I think maybe
it's a kind of weird space we're in right now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously these teams are going to do whatever they can to stay at they're on the cutting edge. They're making a lot of money out of this. So they obviously want to give it their best shot, and if they can get some kind of advantage by writing a custom add-on, they will do so. I do think that's a little bit against the spirit of what Blizzard were intending, and I'm not surprised they've hotfixed it out. Yes, a lot of people have suggested that everything in the first few raids and all of the dungeons, in fact we'll talk about Mythic Plus later on when we get to my week in WoW, that everything is a bit undertuned because of the add-on situation, and Blizzard not being quite sure how it was supposed to go. And I think actually that's fine. I think it's fine that everything's a bit undertuned. I think I, as a casual player, am having a great time, so that suits me very well. But I don't know if they need to do something about the kind of the pacing of the Mythic, so that there isn't this gap for the Race to World First teams, because I do think it's a bit like you're going to lose a lot of interest in the Race to World First if they have to spend a week in the middle doing splits.
I mean, I think also it would depend in the future if they did this sort of split the raid up into several different raids scenario again. Which
I hope they do, because I think it's good for everybody else. I think it's only bad for these people, so I think they need to find a way to do it so it's not quite as bad for these people. And maybe that's just, I mean, maybe it's just as simple as releasing all of the Mythic tiers in the same week. Maybe you can space out everything else, but you just make the Mythic tiers all open in the same week. I don't know.
Could do. Pardon me. The last bit of... Sorry, I'm going to cough again. Hold on.
Oh dear.
Sorry, I'm really struggling with my coughing tonight. I do apologise.
Yeah, that's all right.
The final piece of interesting news is the Secret Find in Discord has finally unlocked the last 2 orbs of the Fell Cycle Secret Clock puzzle. The 11th puzzle piece requires a full 40-man raid to solve.
Oh, God.
And then the final reward is a feat of strength and transmog. So the last 2 pieces, you do need to be in groups. So like I said, the 11th piece, you need to be in a 40-man raid. You also need an add-on to be able to sort of comfortably do it. But helpfully there is a great add-on to do everything with. I actually did this afternoon. And those last 2 pieces, I probably spent 3 or 4 hours on this afternoon. So for the 40-man raid bit, basically, once you've got a bit, the 10th clock piece, you go off and you do a thing and you get an item. And when you've got that item, you can then go and find a 40-man raid, and you all go to the, you know, the big fire that's in Hallowfall.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, yeah, the big flame.
Yeah.
So you all go to the big flame, and
up
basically
at the top.
you're basically doing a big song with the flame. So you're trying to be in tune with the flame. So what will happen is there's an item you get from unlocking the 10th, and that puts a strange buff on you. That means you can interact with the flame, and then the flame will want you to do a certain emote, and it gives everybody a different emote that they have to do.
Oh, lordy.
And everybody has to do the emote at the same time.
What? No.
Yeah. The add-on makes it super simple.
Okay.
The most complicated thing about this is getting a 40-man raid together and making sure that everybody in the raid has the add-on. And if you get given the option that you have to do the dance emote, you press the button on the add-on, but then you have to move forward immediately to stop yourself from dancing, otherwise it counts as a fail.
What?
There is a great guide on Wowhead, which I will put in our show notes, or you can just go to Wowhead. The final bit of the puzzle, you have to take your torch and you have to go to a cave off the coast of Suramar, and you have to do it in a minimum group of 2 to 3 people, but a raid group is nicer. And you have to shine your torch around until you find a ghost, and the ghost produces an orb that you click on, and you click on the orb, and then the person carrying the orb is not allowed to do anything apart from walk and hold the orb. They're not allowed to jump, they're not allowed to swim, they're not allowed to get damaged, they're not allowed to do anything. And then you have to walk them from Suramar, so the very edge of a little island on the very edge of the east of Suramar. You have to walk them all the way to a cave in Azuna.
Oh my
including,
god.
like, there's a section where you have to do water walking, so you need to make sure the person with the orb has some sort of walking ability or potion. But also you're not allowed to be on the water for too long, otherwise you drop the orb and you have to go and collect it again.
What? No. This sounds horrific.
Yeah, that last bit, we kept on. There were all these little tiny things that made the orb keep disappearing, so that took me probably an hour and a half. Luckily, the group, everybody was very, very patient, and it was like, okay, let's work out why that orb vanished. And it's like, did you jump? Were you in the water too long? Honestly, I have to say, I've never been so... And the first time I did it, we all got as far as Azuna, and the person with the orb vanished for half of us. And we were like, oh no, they phased. They were obviously in a different phase from the rest of us, and they phased out.
Wow.
I have to say, we got into Azuna, and everybody, like, the chat just went very quiet. And then we all realised we were still all in the same phase, so we were like, great, we're all in the same phase.
Okay, alright. Oh, God.
I've never been... I haven't been this tense in game. I can't remember the last time I was this tense in game, when we got into the cave and the achievement popped off and everybody got their thing. The chat channel just exploded with it was just the nicest bunch of messages.
Nice.
You start you start on an island and you can't swim, so no, you have to make sure you've got like a DK that can give you or a shaman that can give you water walking, or that you've got a water walking potion or something like that. So yeah, I mean, it's a great community event, but you've got to put aside like a lot of time. So what I would suggest doing, if people are interested in doing this, do go and join the Secret Finding Discord, because people are pinging up there if they're doing a group for either of these things. That's how I found my groups today to do it. Yeah, you can get your feat of strength and your achievement, and you can finish it all off.
Wow.
Like, again, I cannot imagine how people worked out how to do this. I'm always so impressed by the people who do this stuff, because I'm like, literally, how did you work out that you had to walk in? Oh, that's the other thing. When you've got this orb, your screen's blacked out. You've got a really narrow, like literally just around your feet is light.
No.
So you're trying to walk from Suramar to Azuna in the dark. And
No.
the reason why you can't do it on your own is because occasionally, like, bad guys come and like,
Yeah.
try and get the orb. As
Also,
well
there,
as, like, other
I mean,
mobs
there
that you
are
might
quite a
come
lot
across.
of quite a lot of bad guys already in like in Azuna. It's not a safe
Yeah,
place.
but no, that like level 90, like guys with like not things that you can't one shot, so you need people to be able
Right.
to burn. They don't come up. These mobs don't come up too often, but you do need people that can burn them down before they hit the person who's got the orb.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So you do need to put aside some time, but I would absolutely say, one, I'll put a link to this in our show notes, but like join the WoW secret Discord because they've got groups and people are running this.
Yeah.
So there we go. That's the interesting news there. Obviously, there's lots of interesting stuff happening right now, but I had to cherry pick the best bits right now. I'm just refreshing, seeing what's going on with. No, Race World First still progressing.
Okay. Good.
So while that continues to tick over, let's do our topic of the week this week. So we're starting talking about the zones, the brand new 4 shiny zones that we've got, starting with Eversong Woods. And our thought was like, what a makeover. So the brand new reimagined zone, what did we think of the quests, and also like the important business that in the middle of the apocalypse, let's have a party, because who doesn't need wine and cheese when there's a disaster happening? Raven, your thoughts about Eversong?
I really enjoyed it as a questing zone. It's very it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
Yes.
And I thought the questing flow. This often happens with WoW expansions. Like the first zone gets tested and tested and tested and tested and tested, and maybe the second zone gets a bit of testing, and maybe the third one does. And then when you get to the fourth one, it does feel a little bit like they're dialing it in questing wise. I didn't enjoy. I thought Voidstorm was a less polished zone, but Eversong was absolutely beautiful. It had some interesting questing points. There were lots of cats everywhere. It's all very, very beautiful with all the sort of beautiful spirally blood elfy towers. It's a very light and airy zone now. Of course, compared to what the Ghostlands used to be, yeah, incredible, and sort of bright and sunny and cheerful, and yeah, generally speaking, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really engaging and really good. The questing worked. The questing flowed. It had a nice sort of flow up the zone. I really enjoyed the stuff with the light bloom, and those light bloom areas are particularly beautiful. And the way that the plants are put together, and the sort of the lighting works and the shade works, they're really good. So overall, really, really, really enjoyed it. I'm not massively excited by the party, so I did do the party this week.
Lovely.
It was fine.
Yes.
It was fine. I mean, it wasn't as terrible as the Stormarian assault or whatever that thing in Voidstorm is.
Yes.
Which was genuinely not very exciting. But I didn't think it was amazing, but I didn't think it was terrible either. It was a little bit confusing with the quests and the coins and the things. It was a little bit. It wasn't particularly intuitive to work out exactly what you were supposed to be doing next at the party. But it was fine. So one of the things conclusions that I've arrived at this week is that it would be really good if it would be possible to go to someone and say, hey, could you just turn world quests off for a moment for me, please? And maybe that's whoever's in charge of your expansion. So it'd be Lorthamar for this expansion. I just think sometimes, especially the first time you're doing something. So this week when I was going through, I had there's an overarching Midnight World Tour quest, which basically says go and do each of the 4 event things. So I've got quest markers for that. I've then got quest markers for introductory quests to each of these 4 things. When you go to the place, it's like there's an NPC who's like, hello, let me tell you about the thing that we're doing here. But then quite often there's also a world quest for also doing this thing. And whilst it's sort of nice that you can kill lots of birds with one stone and you get loads of like prizes for doing everything just once, it's really confusing. It really clutters up, particularly the mini-map. Because then you end up with the mini-map is like you mouse over it and it's trying to give you information for like 3 different quests that are actually the same quest. This was actually a bigger problem in the Sturmerian Assault than it was anywhere else, but it was also a little bit in the party that I just couldn't quite understand, like, who was asking me to do what, and I found it a bit confusing. So I think it would be nice if when you've hit 90, like, I think that World Quest should probably be on by default, because I think most people probably do want to do World Quests. But I think it would be nice if you could just go to somebody and say, could you just turn them off until I come back here and turn them back on again? Like, could you just... I will help you out. I do want to save Azeroth. I just need my map to not let, and because world quests, even if you turn the quest markers off on your map, obviously you're in them when you're in them, right? So you get all the talking heads and you get all of the like minimap pop up and you get all of that. You can't turn any of those off. So I just think it would be really nice if it was possible just to say to Lorthamar, just give me timeout, bro. Just 10 minutes, if we could just turn it off, so that I could just clear up everything else on my map, and then I'll come back to you for the world quest, I promise. Because I just found it all to be a little bit overwhelming. And this, when I was trying to do the feast, it was just a little bit like, I kept losing track of who had asked me to do what things. And yeah, the talking heads like are quite noisy, and sometimes they talk over each other. So as you're sort of moving around the zone, you're like, oh, and now you've popped up. And now I don't know whether you're... I can't tell whether you've popped up to do a world quest, whether you've popped up to do with this quest that I'm already on. And obviously for the tea party, cheese and wine party, you have to go and do other quests in other parts of the zone. And I ended up sort of doing some world quests that I hadn't really intended to do because they weren't the quests I thought they were. And I got confused.
Yeah, maybe Soradormi, because once you've leveled something, once you've completed the campaign, you can go to Soradormi on your ults and like skip the campaign. Maybe she could also be in charge of like world quests. Maybe you could be like, I do want to do them.
Yeah, exactly.
Could we just
need to turn them off.
Pause them slightly.
Just turn them off for a moment, just so that I can so that I can get everything else sort of tidied away. Yeah, so I did find it a little bit confusing just to work out exactly what I was doing, and I didn't really understand why he gave me coins, and so there was quests already up, and then you get coins to do other things, and then you have to work out who to make friends with, and you get unequal amounts of friendly and unfriendly and I was like, oh god, this all seems... Yeah, so I didn't not enjoy it. I didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed some of the other weekly events, but I also did think it was a little... Like, it did feel a little bit strange. So I've literally just been told to, like, report to the Sunwell, because Liadrin needs to see you urgently in the Sunwell. And I was like, okay, well, I don't want to do that piece of campaign story yet. I want to finish up all of the stuff that I should have done before I got offered that quest. So, yeah, everybody was like, please go and talk to Liadrin, everything's very important. And I was like, yeah, I'm love to, however...
Absolutely.
Party to organise, super sorry. Also, I've got a cave to run round and kill some frogs. Sorry about that. I'll... Just give me a moment, I'll be back, I promise. So, yeah, it did feel a little bit weird. But it was very on theme for the Belfs.
I feel like the first few weeks people have been like, champion, this thing's happening. You're like, absolutely, let me just go. I've just got to grab my bag, which I left over there. I'll be back in a... Don't worry about me, I'll catch you up.
Yeah, catch you up, 2 seconds.
I snuck off to do something else.
Yeah. I having spent nearly a week solidly playing the game, I am now mostly caught up, I think, which is good. But it was a bit overwhelming. But no, I thought the zone was really good. I really enjoyed I thought it had a really nice sort of flow to it. You moved around the zone quite naturally in a way that they didn't manage quite so well with the troll zone, although I did enjoy the troll zone. It was quite... There was something about the way the quests flowed together that you sort of very naturally started in one place and then you went to Fairbreeze and then you travelled on down and then you travelled across a bit and then you travelled on down and then you sort of... it all seemed to flow in a very natural way.
It's quite organic because you're a way to walk around, isn't it?
Whereas the other zones, I felt a bit like you started somewhere and then it was like, oh, now you need to go all in these directions and then you need to come back again. And Voidstorm was particularly bad. I do feel like they were phoning it in by the time they got to Voidstorm, but we'll talk about that in roughly 4 weeks' time, I imagine.
Yes, I have some big feelings about Voidstorm when we get there.
It's a nice colour, but yeah, I enjoyed it. How was Eversong for you?
The thing I really love about Eversong is that they very deliberately but also gently pay homage to all the quests that used to be there.
Yes, this is true. Yes.
So if you ever leveled a character through that zone originally before the refurb, you'll do something and you'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, I remember doing like the baby sister version of this quest. And it was done in such a way that there was enough acknowledgement so that it just made you smile without like, here, do you remember doing something a bit like this? It wasn't like slapping you in the face with it. It was just like, we want to be respectful because this zone will mean a lot to a lot of people. I particularly loved and then felt so sad for Tranquillium, because you arrived at Tranquillium and it's just been like, it's just beautiful compared with like the Tranquillium. And I'd gone round a couple of weeks before the expansion dropped. I took my Horde character around and did all of those quests just to, because it had been such a long time since I'd done them. So I did, and it turned out that I didn't have a Horde who'd done that zone during, like, since transmog has been a thing. So I picked up like all these sorts of transmog. Like, I was like, oh, okay. So I'd freshly done Tranquillium, and then we got there and I was like, oh my gosh, this place is beautiful. This is what it always should have been. And then like you pop into a house and you pop out and it's like fucked again, and you're like, no, Tranquillium, you were only just made beautiful and now you're covered in shit again. Yes,
and now you're broken again.
So I felt particularly bad for Tranquillium because I'm like, oh, you were beautiful for 5 seconds.
For 5 seconds.
And afterwards, it's mostly all right. But I do want us to have a quest where we go back and like tidy that up.
Yeah.
Just go and do some painting or something for them. I loved seeing a bit more life in the Windrunner Spire.
Yes.
As a zone piece, I love it. As a dungeon, I have different feelings about it.
As a dungeon, I'd like to see slightly less life in it, please.
So much fucking trash in that place.
How many staff do the Windrunners employ? Jesus Christ! Like, come on. As a dungeon, it definitely needs to tone it down on the trash front, for sure.
Yeah.
But as a zone piece, it's very beautiful.
It is. I also like the light bloom places. I love those, and I understand what they were trying to do, because obviously one of the elements of the party is you go and protect a rune stone.
Yeah.
I see what they were trying to do with that, but I just don't think I don't think enough of a story was told to us to make them important enough.
I was really confused. That section, that was one of the sections where I got a bit confused. I didn't quite know what I was supposed to be doing. I kept getting lots of stuff popping up, which turned out to be for World Quest or for kind of unrelated other errands that people wanted me to like go on. I found it a little bit confusing, and I didn't really understand why we had to go and protect it. I mean, sure, if you've got a runestone that needs protecting, I mean, I'll protect anything. Like, if you pay me, I'll protect things, I'll murder things. You know, I'm a mercenary for hire in Azeroth. Like, you know.
Yeah, it seemed like a weird element to the party. Like, am I having a party? So there's a couple of things. One, I totally understand if they'd played a little bit more into there's an important part of this zone and we have to protect these runestones because they're keeping the life bloom at bay and they're keeping it under control. Great. That I understand. I don't understand what that has to do with a party where we're having cheese and wine and also political intrigue. But instead of doing like political intrigue stuff, I'm collecting flowers. Yeah. And I'm collecting like bits and bobs like whatever of things kind of around the zone.
Exactly.
I didn't quite get it. I don't mind it because it's actually quite quick to do.
Yeah.
And there's lots of housing like decor that once I'm friends with everybody, they're going to give me lots of lovely bits for my house. Fine.
Yeah.
It's it's one of those items. It's one of those things that you can do on several different characters.
Yeah.
You get a piece of armor often when you've completed it, so it's all fine. It just didn't feel like it fitted together like a cohesive story. It just felt like
and in the
here's some stuff to do, weirdly stuck together.
And in the chat room says it's all very disjointed. That's a good word.
Yeah, it is. Like it's fine, and I think out of all of the zone events, I think it's probably that and the Harendir one, probably my favourite ones. They're just like because they're fine. You can just bash them out and.
Well, I feel I felt like it was a bit more in theme in that it seems on brand that the Blood Elves are having a party when the world is ending.
They were having a party previously. Yep. So
that feels on brand, and I guess sorry, I've just like my Discord has just popped up a little like notification that I've never seen before. It's exciting. I think it's fine. Like that felt on brand. The Harendir one is the one that feels the most kind of coherent because that is just continuing to do the thing, and I quite like those ones. I think they're fine. The abundance things, like I quite enjoy them. I quite like them. I do think it's a little bit. It's chaos. A bit of a like random thing to be doing. Like just come in this cave, kill all these frogs, and they're going to drop bubbles, and it's going to be fine. The Stormarian Assault certainly fits in with Voidstorm. I just don't think it's a very good event. So yeah, I think maybe maybe the party is the most disjointed one.
Yes.
But it doesn't make it not fun. I did enjoy it, and it didn't take very long, which is also quite nice. But it was just a bit. It's just a bit weird.
Because there's a treasure in that zone where you have to pick grapes off a vine.
Yeah.
And you jump up and down.
And then you jump
grapes,
on, and you have to make wine. Yeah.
And when you've jumped up and down on them enough, you put some yeast in and you make some wine.
Yeah.
And I don't really understand why that wasn't a part of
exactly.
the party.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
And maybe they could have been somewhere where there were some cows and we made some cheese. Like that would have made more sense for a party than what we end up doing.
Yeah, I sort of understand. There wasn't very much party element to this party. Like it's like come to the party and then run quests, just run errands for people who are at the party. I mean, sure, I'll run errands for people. That's my job. It's my job. Here I am running errands for all of the people. Sometimes for important people, sometimes for just random people. Like I'm very good at errands, but like it did seem quite odd.
And then what we'll do is we'll give you party-related housing decor, and it's like. So eventually I get to host my own party? Is that like the weird way that we're getting back to this?
Yeah, maybe. Although maybe you can only host your own party if you then send all your party attendees off to go and run random errands.
Maybe.
I went to a little accidental house party yesterday where we were trying to play some board games, but the dog who lived in the house didn't like having strangers in, so it just sat and barked at us solidly for like 3 hours.
Oh. out, there's a singer inside one of those houses that there's nobody ever listening to. Like, you
Oh.
don't pick a song for this lady to sing. So behind the chap holding the party, if you go into the building behind, when, you know, you have to do the things that are involved with the party, and there's like a disgruntled guest that you give a wine
he doesn't.
to,
Yeah,
and there's
somebody
some
wants a
books
drink, and there's
yeah.
some stuff that needs like attacking. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you go into the house behind the chap who's hosting the party,
Lord
there's a lady in a very
Sarthanel?
big hat who is who's singing. She's a singer for the party, and you can pick one of 4 tracks that she'll sing. But there's literally, I think there's like one person on a couch in there with her, and I'm like, surely you should be outside where the party's happening, miss. Or
Yes,
is your
I have
hat
to
too
say,
big? Are you worried about your hat?
Yeah, it didn't occur to me to go into the house since everybody appeared to be outside.
No, she's in there, and she'll
Okay.
do like one of the she's one
She'll
of
do
the
a little
things that you can
task.
tick off for
Okay.
the party, and
All
you
right.
can choose a song. But like I say, she's wearing the most enormous hat.
Oh, okay. So maybe she's trapped in the house now. She can't leave because she's put
I
a
mean,
hat on.
it is quite
Maybe
big.
the hat can only leave sideways.
Maybe. So what did the rest of you think about Eversong? Let's find out, starting with Salmus.
This is Salmus reporting in for this week's topic. Same song, different verse. As I took my Blood Elf Warlock through the various quests in Eversong, I was reminded of the principle found in improv acting. Yes, and. I have played through the Burning Crusade Blood Elf starting zone more times than I want to admit. And now that we have this new version, I won't promise that I won't play through it in the future. Although now that I think about it, just as we have a world where after I reach level 10, I'm pushed a quest to level in the Dragon Isles, I might be living in a world where I gain level 10 in the Burning Crusade Eversong and am pushed a quest to level further in Midnight Eversong. Okay, let's not think about that. There are way too many great quests to recount, but I loved seeing some of the old quests echoed, progressed, and sometimes resolved. I also loved questing for some people I quested for before, and a couple I had previously turned into swine. One call out to a quest that started me thinking, oh no, am I going to be helping a bad person? Again. And someone even cautioned me that I might not want to be helping this person, only to find them using sinister means to bring about an achingly bittersweet though temporary reunion. Good writing, Blizz. I'm still exploring Saltheral's soiree, and am enjoying the good-natured intrigue. Everyone is ultimately pulling for the same goal, but some will want to be the ones known to have been doing more of the pulling, which creates a fun rivalry. And of course, I'm beginning with my crew from Murder Row. Rogues are the worst, but we're obviously the best at it. Salmus out.
No.
Very good. Very good. And yes, that quest line was extremely good.
Queen Smedry says, Magisters have a cat. That is all I cared about. Yes, indeed.
Although-
Important stuff.
Why is the Void Cat not pettable?
Oh yes, that is the other big question about this zone. Why can I not pet
Why
Umbrick's cat?
can I not pet Umbrick's cat? You can't
have
have,
said when
unpettable cats in this game now because you have pettable cats. You can't just arbitrarily make one of them unpettable. Just because it's made of void. I bet it likes dreamies too.
This is the feedback I left during Alpha when I met this cat. As soon as I met that cat, I was like, why can't I pet you?
Why
Immediate
can't-
feedback. There is a bug. I cannot pet
Yeah, I
this cat.
cannot pet this cat. Yeah, never mind what I'm supposed to be doing, saving the world or stopping Umbrick dying or whatever the fuck it was. I want to pet this
Whatever's going on.
cat.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I was upset.
Yeah, it was very upsetting. Marie says, with the scar repaired, Eversong is lovely. I haven't hosted a party yet since I haven't opened world quests yet, but I thought the story of the light bloom was a good one.
Graphis says, there's always time for wine and cheese. I mean, when you put it like that, Graphis,
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue, quite frankly,
Indeed.
because I love both of those things.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the new take on the zone with the inclusion of a lot of familiar but different quests. It feels like an echo of its past version. Visually, it's stunning, and the new threat from Lifebloom adds a new visual dimension now the zombies have left for Northrend for their holidays. Oh, I love the idea that somebody's like
packed their little
"Hello,
suitcases.
zombies.
Yes.
Would you like a holiday? And they're like, oh, well, I'm a zombie, and they just put them all on like some
Yeah,
sort of
little
zombie
like
airship
coaches.
and
Yeah,
just send them to
exactly.
Northrend.
Little coaches.
Aw.
Little yeah, be amazing.
Love that.
Yeah.
I have only done one soiree, but I'm not sure how I feel about them. But being a transmog completionist, I will at least do it enough to collect the 3 sets. Yes, there is transmog and a lot of housing decor.
And cheese.
Behind those.
Of the cheese mint variety, there's lots of cheese mints for doing the party in various different ways and making friends with people and doing all the things. Cheryl says, I really enjoyed the zone. I liked the echoes of the past that showed both tradition and progress. There were a few moments where I, the player, thought, oh, this is going to end this way, and I was right. But at least I never felt like I was being made to look like a complete fool. I'm still a little unconvinced that some of my meddling was for the best, but at least more than a little of it seemed to be me trusting the right people for once. Since I've only minimally played Horde characters, I don't have the level of nostalgia for this zone that many do, but I appreciate the work they put into making the nostalgia I do have hit right.
Ams says, Eversong was a great zone and did an excellent job setting the scene for all of the subsequent zones. It was a great blend of new but respecting the old. Absolutely flawless on every front, including the Sojourner.
Yes.
I really love how easy they've made rare spawns. Oh gosh, the change to rare spawns I'm so happy about. I love the fact that actually, especially if you're standing somewhere where there's a bit of water, you're like, it's fine, I'll just do some fishing until this rare turns up. And within 30 minutes, the rare is going to turn up. It's great. Very good quality of life change. Ams continues, all in all, the campaign element gets 11 out of 10 for me. I do think the soiree is an absolutely excellent idea, and I would say it's perfectly up my street. I love the concept of inviting different factions where strategy is involved in how to level up different factions. But I was really disappointed with what my option with what, in my opinion, is piss poor implementation. It should have been about guile, strategy, one-upmanship, betrayal, sass, and plotting. Quest should have been to influence, infiltrate, spy, steal, kill, or impact reputations of the factions they don't like. Think the Horde BFA quest where you have to break into the stockades to rescue a prisoner.
That's
or
great.
Legion Nightfallen where you follow the spy and not get caught. Or a quest to embarrass a representative by swapping out their team's flag or symbol for the quest giver's faction. That's what it should have been. But instead, I'm obtaining 6 wolf intestines. Like, who gives a fuck about wolf livers? Why? And don't get me started on the runestone. There is literally no point to it. I've clearly put aside Team Positive here, but the event is just so disappointing for what, for me, was an execution point when it could have been so good, with very little effort, given the skeletal structure for these sorts of guile quests already exist in game. So love the concept, loathe the execution.
Yeah, I don't feel quite as strongly about it as Ams does, but I would agree with all of that feedback. I think, yeah, and the feedback. Well. Yeah, agree with all of that. So no, those are very good points. Yes, who does give a fuck about wolf livers? No idea. Certainly not me.
I mean, wolves probably.
Yeah, the wolves that are still using them, maybe. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weird one. Finally, Pastor Matt says, I really like the makeover of Eversong Woods. Beautiful, the prettiest of the 4. It was probably my second favourite levelling experience, though. Zulaman was first. I think that the soiree is probably a tie for favourite event with the Harandar relic thing. Abundance a close third. Stormarian a distant last. That one tripped over its own feet coming out of the gate. Yeah, for sure. I think we're gonna have feelings when we get to the Voidstorm episode. But
absolutely.
Yeah. So generally speaking, that seemed like 2 thumbs up for Eversong. But like Saltharel needs to sort his party situation out.
We all decided the party is a bit weird. Not the thought about like Blood Elves having a party, absolutely.
Yeah, seems on brand.
But yeah, what we had to do for the party, what?
Yeah, just seems very odd. Well, never mind. If you are enjoying the show, perhaps you could give us a like or post a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you're listening to us. We're hoping to try and grow our audience a bit this year. We'd love you to help us reach new people. We'd also love for you to join our Discord channel over at bit.ly/ggw-discord. You can watch our show live on Sundays at 8 PM London or midday Pacific at twitch.tv/silkyraven.
Thank you very much. That leads us swiftly into our ongoing correspondence from Cassunda.
The Cassunda Chronicles, Cold Front, Part 2. Greetings and salutations, my friends. 'Tis I, Cassunda. I finished patching up the scuffed knee of the young lady that had gone over and was crying for me. It's so nice the children think of me first with things like this, especially when there are priests and priestesses available. But I am, I suppose, as many of them call me, a de facto father. But I then made my way back down to the cellar. I made my apologies, at which Spranak nodded and again said that family was important. Master Tyrillith, please continue your report.
As you wish. We realized that this was a larger force than we expected. It was a military operation. It was almost as though they were going through maneuvers, forming up ranks. Who or what was organizing this was preparing for war. Now that is something myself and my colleagues know full well. That is, of course, why we were created. But I realized my small contingent, mighty though we are, was not up to the force before us. So we sent word. Others were called. I suggested they come in low, so as not to attract attention. We have also spread out my small number, making sure that they do not have scouts of their own watching. We are also keeping some to the skies again, to keep an aerial watch, but to make sure that they don't have aerial forces. I think one thing in our favour is, whoever they are relying on land-based forces. As you can imagine, we are as not stealthy as yourself or the Admiral here. At that point the room exploded into laughter. Not the Death Knights, but the rest of us. He had indicated toward Banian. Oh, please, good sir, I am but a humble captain. Again the room burst into laughter. Banian has access to a fleet of gentlemen of the sea, shall we call them. And as for humble, I don't think he actually knows the meaning of the word. I'll have to get him a dictionary. I mean this with all great respect. Banian is a true and close friend, and as many of you know from my little missives, he and I formed the Watchers organization together. He looks after the Horde side, I look after the Alliance side. What was once a great rift, though, luckily is now becoming more fluid. We are able to help each other in operations, and even have very welcome children from the Horde side to visit, and my good loved children go and visit them. Hence the operation to maybe send the children to a holiday camp in Kalimdor for a while. But I digress, and again I apologized for the interruption. I did not realize I had made a joke. My apologies. No need, sir. A private joke amongst many of us about your description of Master Banian. As I was saying, we were preparing ourselves. We are not stealthy. We are... And with that he indicated down towards the armour that himself and Sprunnock was wearing. More akin for going in full frontal and taking out the forces in as loud a way as possible. You'll have to excuse me a moment. This device is starting to crackle. I think I may need to talk to Gearson about it. I'll come back to you shortly, my friends. Be seeing you.
Serious stuff are happening at the moment. Also, Banian, I do hope your voice is coping with the graveliness that you are blessing us with at the moment.
Indeed.
So you have had a week off, and sounds like you've been able to have plenty of time in WoW this week.
Yeah,
What have you been up to?
it's taken me most of the week to kind of catch up with all of the stuff. So I got to the end of the main campaign. I can't remember whether I'd got to the end of that this time last week or not. I don't recall. But I finished all of the main campaign quests. So obviously World Quest and all of that opened up. So then I was doing, so I went through and did each of the activities, as I was saying earlier on. So quite enjoyed those for the most part. But then there's just loads of other like little quest chains that you need to like finish off. There's quite a lot of stuff to do. So I spent most of this week just doing all of that. So like Domestos, what's the little dude in Voidstorm whose name I can't remember. I had to go and kill some stuff for him.
Yes, the Void dude.
The Void dude, yeah, he wants some stuff for some reason. So I had to go and
it'll be fine, I'm sure.
had to go and do that. Yeah, did Decimus, that's him. Decimus, did some stuff for him. I did a bunch of delves. I did all of the weekly quests. So I think I chose delves for my sort of weekly choose your own adventure quest. Then there was just a load of other, like, they just felt like there was a load of other little quests to open things up or do things or tidy stuff up. I did the last remaining follower dungeons that I needed to do follower dungeons for. I then did go through and do the next piece of main campaign. So I'm now up to the bit with where I can't do the March of Keldanas yet because it's not open on story mode. So I did story mode for the Void Spire. So got to, and then I was quite glad that I'd already seen that cinematic, although when I saw that cinematic I was quite cross about being spoiled because I hadn't been realising that that was what I was clicking on. But when I got to the end of Voidstorm, my whole game crashed and it didn't play me the cinematic, and I was like, oh, okay, thanks.
Okay.
But so that was good. So good. No, bad. That was bad for just about everyone.
Good progress for you.
Yeah. So bad things happened. Saw that happen.
Yes.
Quite enjoyed the going and gathering all of the elves questing. Quite like.
Yeah.
I don't want to sort of
elves we have met along the way.
Yeah, I don't want to sort of spoil too much about what happens, but I quite enjoyed going and gathering up all the little elves, and like Bellameth is beautiful, isn't it? It's so nice. Every time I get to go back there, I'm like, oh, it's so nice here. Did the battle for the bridge, quite enjoyed it. Thought it was quite, okay, so I really enjoyed the battle for the bridge scenario. Arator needs a little bit of practice with his daddy's shield. And
He's new with a shield.
Yeah, I did rip aggro off him a couple of times, which was unhelpful because we didn't have a healer with us. So there's no healer because he's supposed to be drawing all of the aggro. So instead of arranging for an NPC to be doing healing, they've arranged for an NPC to be pulling all the aggro so you don't get hit. But it glitched a couple of times, or at one point I got a little bit in front of him and I was like, oh, sorry, the paladin tank I'm used to running with pulls faster than this.
It's also half your height, so...
Yeah. So, felt like Arator just needs a little bit of shield practice, but quite enjoyed it. Thought it was a good scenario. Like, it had a good sort of feeling of peril about it. Quite enjoyed sort of doing all of that.
There's a sense of urgency to it as well, I think.
Yeah. It feels like there's kind of stuff at stake. Quite enjoyed the sort of dark sky effect we've got going on in the Silver Moon skybox after finishing the Void Spire. That's quite cool. Generally speaking, quite enjoying it.
If you die in that scenario, Liadrin reses you.
Okay.
You accept a res from Liadrin. Not that I died. I saw somebody, I saw a piece of media, and I was like, "That's brilliant." I love the fact that it's Liadrin. He's like, "Oh, come on, hero."
Yes, get a fucking move on, Jesus. Finished all the Sojourners. So I've got my Lore Master. Got most of my treasures. So there's only a couple of... I've got a few things outstanding. So I've got some rares outstanding because I just need to have time to sit and sort of do them. And I've got some treasures outstanding in Harrendar because they need a bit of effort. There's 2 treasures in Harrendar that just need a bit of... you need to go and farm up some stuff. So, not finished those yet. But generally speaking, I tried to sort of tie off everything before launching into the kind of world quest world thereof. Did quite a few delves. Been picking off the treasures achievements in those delves, and finally just constantly being told by Valera that I need to sit down and take a break when I obviously cannot sit down and take a break, which is just a little bit vexing. She's a bit annoying. I preferred Bran, I think, but there we go. Never mind. Here we are. On Wednesday, no, that's a lie. On Thursday, I know what day of the week is. On Thursday, we had the band back together for the second week running. So we popped into normal Dream Rift. We almost got him down. Chromasius? Is that his name? I don't know. Something like that.
Big dude.
Yeah, big dude. So we've definitely got this dance down. We just couldn't quite land the DPS. So we did about an hour on him. If we get a few people with just a little bit more gear next week, I think that's probably going down. Then we popped into the Void Spire and we got 3 bosses down in the Void Spire. Chimerius. Okay. Chimerus.
Sam.
Thanks, Anne. We got 3 bosses down in the Void Spire, so that was really good. So there's an Imperator, somebody or other, and then there's a big gorilla thing, and then there's Fallen King Salad Bar. And poor King Salad Bar. I don't understand how King Salad Bar didn't realise that Xalatath was going to double cross his double crossing, but he didn't for some reason, so we murdered him.
She didn't, to be fair, she didn't even double cross him. He asked for power.
Yeah, this is true.
She gave him more that he could deal with. And she's like, you asked for this, and I gave it to you. Exactly. Like proper mustache twirling villain moment from Xalatath there. But so that was all really good. Really enjoyed doing that. Super good to get some normal raiding back on the agenda. And then on Friday, after a little bit of toing and froing about whether I was going to be around Friday or Saturday to do some Mythic Plus, eventually it turned out it was Friday. And some of us got together and did our first toe dip into the Mythic Plus realms. Yeah, interesting. This is a super accessible Mythic Plus season. Everything is a little bit undertuned, which is good because it means you can go and do some Mythic Plus. So we did we cleared a 4. Where did you?
Yeah, I was just trying to be like, where did we visit? That's a really good question. What are the names of these dungeons?
Did you go to the academy in Dragon.
So
in Dragon
yes,
Flight.
so we did the Dragon Academy. That was the one we did the +4 on. We did have a little bit of a wipe on her voicemail, the last boss, because that room has got a lot more balls in it than it had previously. Everything else felt fine. But yeah, there was a lot more of the balls in that room than I think there had been previously. So Doris's Echo, or whatever she's called, the little voicemail dragon, is just a little bit more spicy than I remember her being previously, which is slightly annoying. So yeah, we did that, but we cleared it on a 4, even with 1 wipe. So that was super good.
Nice.
We went to the cavern. What's it called? The Marcius Cavern, the Marius Cavern.
Oh, yes, the Mary Cavern.
The Mary Caverns. Oh, yeah, thank you, Anne. So, yes, we started off in the Magister's Terrace. That's where we started off. We started off in the Magister's Terrace because Anne had a +2. So we started in the Magister's Terrace. So that was good and is relatively straightforward. It's just a lot of trash. And then we went...
trash in that place.
Yeah, then we went to Mary's Cavern. And Mary's Cavern is absolutely stuffed full of trash in a very... I mean, there's just fucking tons of it.
I think all of these dungeons seem to have a lot more trash than like dungeons we've seen recently.
Yeah, it's really it's a very trash heavy environment. Can't say I'm uber enjoying the trash heaviness of the environment, but at least it's easy to get forces. And actually on the in Mary's Cavern we tipped over the last forces with the very, very last mob before the last boss. So that was nice. We did have a little bit of a wipe on the last boss as well. We didn't really read any of the tic tacs before we went in, so there were a few bosses where we were like, okay, we've all been hitting this boss for a while now, and nothing seems to have happened. So, what tic tac are we not following? And then we were like, oh, I wonder if we should do this, and then we did that, and it all worked, and it was like, oh yeah, okay, tic tacs. So, we were a little bit making.
Oh yeah, tic tacs.
Oh yeah, tic tacs. Yeah, yeah. So we were a little bit making the tic tacs up as we went along, and it was mostly fine. We had to pug a DPS. We pugged some mostly helpful DPSs. They arrived, they all said hello, and then they did things, and then they left again, and some of them said thank you, so that was good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes, so, but it was really good. I really enjoyed it. We had a good time. It was nice to do some Mythic Plus after. We were trying to work out when we last did Mythic Plus, and we think it might have been Dragonflight. And I was like, no, it's been longer than the last expansion, because I totally forgot that there's been a whole expansion since Dragonflight. It's like,
no, it was early Dragonflight.
It was like first season of Dragonflight, I think, was when we was the last time we did Mythic Plus. So yeah, it's a good Mythic Plus I feel like is in quite a good place. I know that a lot of the serious Mythic Plus people think it's a bit too easy. I know Taliesin was saying he's basically done a Mythic Plus in week 1 because he's got 10s across the board and he's got all of the things that he wanted. He wasn't complaining about that, but I know a lot of people are complaining about that. I think it's great though, in terms of, I mean, I felt, none of us are particularly well geared. Actually, I don't know. That's probably unfair. Sorry, Graphis. Stilgar. But I didn't feel like we'd had to work particularly hard to get the 4 done, and that felt quite good, I think. So yeah, good Mythic Plus times we had by all. So we're going to be trying to do some Mythic Plus on a Friday, raiding on a Thursday, and hopefully that'll leave me a couple of nights to catch up on all of the partying that I need to organise in the kind of off season. Absolutely. Yes. Important party stuff. Yes. And delves. Delves also, I think, in general in quite a good place. I'm now up to level 8 delves. I did a level 8 delve. I'm just sort of I'm having to work my way back up to 11s, but I've now hit the 8s, so that's good. I've got quite a full vault coming this week, I think.
Yeah, and really until you've got hero track stuff and you need those better crests, 8s is absolutely fine. You don't need to worry about the higher ones until because that gives you the best thing that you're going to get in the vault if you do 8s. So unless you want those bigger crests. Yeah, so I'm quite sort of satisfied. Yes, Anne says they are 258 eye level. I think I'm a bit low. I think I was about 244.
So, yeah, we'll see what the Vault tips us out. I remembered the Catalyst thing existed, and I tiered up a pair of pants and then immediately got a pair of tier pants dropped the next thing I did. So that was
of course
super helpful.
As is tradition.
As is tradition, yep. But I am rocking my 2-piece now, so that's quite nice.
Nice.
Although it does feel
a
little bit easy now that you it's like, yeah.
That's always I always find that really challenging thing to go, okay, when do I go and spend when do I go and spend my crest? When do I go and pop a catalyst hit on these things? Because yes, invariably the next item you get is as good or slightly better, and then you're like, oh.
I did have a whole moment where I was like, I can't remember whether that catalyst person. I was wandering around Silvermoon, being like, I can't remember where that catalyst person was. And then I was
slightly weird position.
Well, they're next to the fucking forge. Like, there's a huge big pit of fire, which is where the catalyst is.
You're right. That is a forge, isn't it?
Yeah. And I was like, oh yeah, they'll be over here with the big pit of fire with the forge.
Because it's so pretty.
Yeah, I was literally staring at it, and I was like, where is this catalyst person? I do not know where they are. Oh no, they're literally in front of me at the fucking forge, doing the forge, because this is a forge thing, and they're in this forge that's on fire. And right here, great. You just had your eyes tested, Raven, and the nice optician said you didn't need new glasses, so maybe put them on or something. Don't know.
I think it's Silvermoon decor. I think everything just looks so pretty. They've made the prettiest forge so that you don't quite remember that it's a forge.
Yeah.
That's my excuse.
Yeah. And I did do one prey, so I've done the sort of introductory prey quests, and I've done the baby prey quest, and I did the one normal prey quest, and I just thought it was a bit weird, but maybe you need to do I think you maybe need to do more of them to sort of River's decloaking. That I think maybe you need to do more of them to have them make sense. I think that's maybe the problem. I was just like, this is slightly weird.
They are a bit weird. I think you get into a rhythm of like the quickest way to level up your crystals so that you can go and do the actual murdering of the prey target. But yes, we shall talk about prey in a few weeks when everyone's had a little bit more time to play with prey.
Yeah, I will definitely have another go with it and see if I can get it to make a bit more sense. But it just, I guess I hadn't anticipated it being a system that you were gonna like pick up a quest and then you could go and like do it at your own kind of convenience. I guess I was sort of expecting it to be a bit more spontaneous, and it doesn't. There is no spontaneity to it. It's just you pick up the quest and then you go and do some other things, and then you could do world quests at the same time, but like it's not. I don't know. It doesn't. It sounded like it was going to be a much. Yeah, it doesn't. It just doesn't sound. It doesn't work in any way the way I thought it was going to. So I'm finding that difficult to kind of get past the fact that it isn't at all what I was expecting. But
expectation and reality.
Yeah, just a bit
different.
Yeah, not necessarily bad, but weird. So yeah, I've done a lot this week. I'm up to date with most things now, and so all I need to do now is stay up to date with all these things and keep these renown tracks ticking over. It's very confusing. I'm finding it difficult to sort of remember all of the different things. So I'm experimenting with to-do list add-ons and things at the moment to just try and give me a kind of tick list of things that I need to remember to do, because it seems like there's just a lot of stuff if you want to maximize or just do even like remember to do one of all the things. I did some abundance this week as well. So I did the abundance where you go and do all of the abundance in each of the zones. And I also thought that was a bit weird. Like, I didn't hate it. I just also thought it was a bit... I just think it's a bit strange. Like, why do I need to talk to this frog and go into this cave and, like... Okay.
Frog, I think he's a gopher.
Or a gopher, whatever he is. Like, he's just a funny little lower dude. And I quite like a funny little lower dude. I'm not...
Absolutely.
it just feels super weird to me that I've got like Liadrin being like, okay, so we fucked up the light well and it's now the dark well and everything's got a bit wrong and like literally the world might be ending over here, and I'm like, I'm in a cave murdering some frogs. I'll be with you in 2.5 minutes. Yep, cool.
Yeah. I'll only be 3 minutes. Hang on.
Yeah. It's not. It's not bad content. It feels a little bit odd. I quite like that you can do most of these things as often as you like. Like you can do all of these, like the assaults and everything. You don't have to wait until you've got the quests if that's the sort of content you like. Although why you would do the Stormarian assault if you didn't have any quests for it, I just don't even know. That was terrible. I did that this week as well, obviously, and I was just like, well, this is just not very exciting. It's just not very exciting, and I don't want to put any of these things up. And also, I kept getting really confused because she kept shouting, "There are like more mobs coming from the east," and I just couldn't quite work out
your east or my east.
Yeah, I couldn't work out
which
way I was facing and which direction east was. And then when I thought I'd worked it out, I looked at the minimap. There weren't any mobs coming from that direction, and they were coming from a different place. And I was like, are you shouting helpful things, or are you just shouting random shit? I think you're just shouting random shit, which is bold, I guess, and really unhelpful. And yeah, it just didn't feel like particularly good content. So yeah, quite enjoyed the abundance. There are an abundance of achievements for doing abundance. My God.
Oh, so many achievements.
Like pages and pages and pages of achievements for doing abundance. And I'm like, I'm not sure I'm going to like it to the point that I've got over 1 million abundance to do all of these achievements. Oh, have we got a race to world first update?
Hold on. Liquid just had a 1.98% wipe.
Getting there. Who won it last time? It was Liquid that took it last time, wasn't it? It's always Liquid. Yeah.
Oh, do you not remember the last one? Like Echo had something like a literal like slither wipe, and then
and then Liquid just like trounced it. Yeah.
Because we actually thought that
Echo had done it. Yeah.
It was something like literally like hundreds of thousands of HP left on the boss.
Yeah. Oh dear.
So yeah.
Okay. Well, Liquid on track for their usual stuff right now. So yeah, no, I've had a busy week. I've caught up with a lot of stuff. I've tried out all of the main things. Some of them are quite confusing, and I'm sort of looking forward to having a normal week. Although they'll March to Keldanas will be open on story mode, so I can do that next week and tidy up that last bits of those campaign quests, I should think. How about yourself? What have you been up to?
Animal Crossing is ticking over very nicely for me. Oh, I've got two new villagers. I've had a bit of a turnaround. I've got Rolf, who's a sort of outdoorsy tiger, and Raymond, who is the office cat. And they've both moved in the last week, which is lovely. But the best thing is, it's the season, the very short season you get in Animal Crossing, where all of the trees have cherry blossom on them. So everything looks really pretty, and there's like little cherry blossoms just wafting in the wind. So everything looks really delightful right now.
Very nice.
That's very, very pleasing.
Yes.
I've got a couple of achievements that I'm really close to finishing on that, which would have been well and truly finished had I not restarted my island. The problem with restarting your island is it wipes all of your achievements.
No, that's unsporting.
In Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
So, dear Animal Crossing, don't make that a thing in the future.
No.
Wow. Yeah, I feel like I've had a really productive week, and I've slightly got over that hump of trying to do all the things on everything and going, actually, that's not going to give you joy. Don't do that. So my North American character, she might weirdly be my best geared character right now.
Oh.
And she's just been super lucky with drops, super weirdly lucky with drops. She's at something like 256 or something.
Oh,
and I don't quite understand how she's managed that. And I'm just like, I think she had really good luck with the vault, and she's had some good luck out of delves, and yeah, she's just been very, very lucky. So she's like looking particularly shiny. I also slightly respect my warlocks, because I was just looking at what was going on, and I'm like, I've got a feeling they've changed some stuff up, and Sims gave me a website to go and look at, which has just made me... So I've just changed up how things are playing, and when we went raiding, that was the first time I was playing with this new thing, and actually I think it's doing quite well. I was quite pleased with how the damage I was putting out, so that feels... and I didn't feel like I'd lost... There's a little bit of... I feel like I've lost a little bit of sort of AoE spread, but not so much that actually it's worrying me. It's just something I've just got to be like, no, it's okay. It'll be all right. Mayhem will sort out what you've lost with Havoc. It'll be fine. Everybody's sort of gearing up quite nicely. I'm so pleased they listen, and they've changed up like how crests work, so it's just really, really straightforward. You're like, okay, so this item needs this sort of crest, and I take this crest and I can turn it into that crest, and I don't... It's so straightforward, and I'm so pleased they did that, and that we don't have to do like have valor stones or fairy stones or dream stones. It's just gold. Just a little bit of gold and the crest. Great. Very straightforward. It's such a minuscule amount of gold as well. It's just really straightforward, and I love that.
There are 16 million other kinds of currency for like random reasons, but I'm glad that this particular corner is now easier to understand.
Yeah, and I think it just makes it so much more accessible to people, because people would like literally... Like, I feel like I'm pretty on top of things, but every season I was having to go to Sims. Okay, like, what's going on? I don't understand what these crests are. Why can't I do this? Oh, Raider.io has fallen over.
Oh, okay. Is that because Liquid have taken it down, or is
I don't know.
It an unrelated sort of problem?
Like, I've got an error message all of a sudden. Oh well, we'll just leave that over there.
Oh, maybe I'll see if I can get it up on my phone.
I'm having a lovely time in delves. I'm really enjoying delves. Some more than others. I particularly like the maze one. I just really like that one.
The maze
is there anything I don't
one?
particularly like? Yeah, there's one down the bottom of troll zone that's got all these sort of... It's like a little net. It's got all these corridors, and you have to use the levers.
Yeah, using the levers.
I just really like that one. I just feel just a couple of the others sometimes, especially the cavernous ones, you can just sometimes get 2 or 3 nasty packs that sort of sit... It's not even that they sit on top of each other, but Valera gets evolved, and she butt pulls things, and then you suddenly got 2 or 3 big things, and you're just like, and you're round a corner, and you're like, oh, this is going to go terribly wrong. Oh, it did go terribly wrong.
Yeah, and she also she has a tendency to butt pull things when she's like stealthing in and out from having like grabbed a mining node, and you're like, I didn't need you to grab a fucking mining node right now, and I didn't need any of those friends, but thanks very much. No, Raider.io is indeed fucked. Oh no, now it's come back. Hooray.
Yeah, and she'll sometimes just go and like pull stuff that I wasn't trying to pull anyway, which is just tedious. And I feel like she does more than... oh yes, there we go, it's back. Oh, Echo have had a 4% pull. Well done, Echo.
Yes.
So, like, literally, this could be anybody's.
Yeah.
It's either going to be Liquid or Echo. It's Method. I presume Method must be asleep at the moment, because it doesn't look like that pull number has changed for a while.
Well, why would they be asleep now? It's like...
I don't know. Maybe they're having dinner or something. I don't know.
Weird.
So yes, so everything's going well. Like, my professions are ticking over quite nicely. I do feel like they've made professions easier to level this time around.
Yes.
They seem a lot more straightforward. I seem to be getting things that want you to like learn recipes through discoveries. They seem to be ticking over relatively quickly. At least I think it must be tailoring. I think I'm going to have to do a lot of delves. Thankfully, my tailor likes to do delves, but it looks like a lot of recipes come out of heavy delve chests.
Oh.
I don't know what a heavy delve chest is, but that's what the tooltip tells me. So I'm going to look up
tailoring recipes are like really heavy. They're like your poor little gnome's not going to be able to pick them up.
They're chunky.
Yeah.
Very chunky. So no, everybody's going really, really well. Like the only so frost mages are in a really strong position right now. So both my frost mages are having a lovely time without too much effort. My warlock is great. My shadow priest still feels like she's taken a step down since the last expansion, and they did do quite a bit of reworking, and I'm not sure that I'm entirely like, she's not terrible, but she feels fragile compared to even compared to the frost mages, which is weird. Like, my shadow priest has never felt fragile compared to my frost mage, but she really does right now. I'm going to keep gearing her, but I sort of feel like I might be getting to the point where quite soon I might be able to start thinking about putting some work into one of my houses. Like, I do keep popping into my house, but I just haven't had like a chunk of time, and I've been collecting stuff because like bosses I did LFR, the whole of LFR this week on one of my characters. So I did Ilaria on LFR, and I got a miniature Ilaria at the end of it. And I'm like, I'm going to need to make a trophy room for putting all of these things in. Bosses keep giving me things and I don't realise. And then I really love this point, because you go through your bags and you're like, what's this thing? And it's like, I've got a... And it's usually some sort of tub or some sort of hanging thing.
Yeah.
And quite a lot, like, so every time you kill one of the prey targets, you get a little statuette of the mob that you've killed. So I'm going to have some sort of like red room of like prey targets or something.
Yeah.
So I need to work out how I'm going to like display all of these, whether I put like a shelving unit up round the room or something, and all these things sit on it.
Wow.
So I'm sort of looking forward to having a bit more time for like sort of slightly downtime activities. I have managed to tick one of my renowns over to full, so my silver moon renown has ticked over much earlier than everybody else. I'm not quite sure how I've managed to do that, but I pinged it over this week and I was like, everybody in silver moon loves me. Okay, fair enough. And going raiding with everybody this week, it was lovely. I really enjoyed the raid. It was we haven't done, I quite liked the Godzilla boss. That was nice and straightforward. Like that beam that he does when he's like doing that big beam that goes across, that's pretty scary, that thing. And it was nice to see the end of Salad Bar, and I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of the raid with everybody. So a good week.
Good.
So what have the rest of you been up to? Let us start with Salmis.
Hello, Raven and EJ. This is Salmis, the alchemical rogue, reporting in for my week in WoW. Friends and family have been running the odd delve or two as we get the chance and help each other find quest givers and decor salesmen. I'm charmed to find a couple of people in my circle basically saying, "Questing? What's that? This game's about housing." Rexual healing progressed further into the Dream Rift. We are making it more consistently into Phase 2 of that boss fight now. And next week, we'll be reigniting our transmog competition. Progress! On an alchemical note, I was told that I could unlock a flask from the Learning Cauldron by drinking the flask that gives versatility. I thought that it wasn't working, but I then discovered that I had to try the unlock while under the effects of the Verse Flask. After it wears off, the recipe is locked again. While I can understand how fun it is to try to guess at hints, and while I do enjoy not exploding for quick recipe learning like the last two expansions, perhaps a little more instruction and a little less hinting might work better for some of us. Just saying. I'm still at that muddled phase where I want to be progressing professions in gear, but also exploring all the side quests and seeing the local stories play out. There just isn't enough of me for this game right now. Thank you all. Salma's out.
Yeah, it is some of the Cambrian cauldron things are a little bit annoying, but I've got most of them done now. That one, yeah, maybe it could have been more obvious, but yes, there's a lot to do. There's a lot to do.
Yes, an embarrassment of riches right now, which is great. So Trey got his main to 90. Congratulations.
Congrats.
And has finally finished the campaign. Good work.
Woohoo! Queen Smedry returned to WoW after a 10-year hiatus. My goodness, welcome back. She made a new Vengeance Demon Hunter, dinged and got her to eye level 233, then did all her weeklies apart from Harandar, as she's planning on leveling her druid soon, who is a herbalist. Oh, welcome back.
Indeed. 10 years ago. Is 10 years ago Legion? Is that long ago?
2016. Yeah, it might. I was just trying to work out what year it would have been 10 years ago. This is like I'm doing really well. I've been on holiday for a week. I've uninstalled numbers for the week. Yeah, probably Legion. Yeah, God, Legion was 10 years. Oh, fuck. Yeah. Wow.
I'll move on.
I would.
Marie has started questing in Voidstorm after knocking out all the delves and dungeon quests she'd collected.
Graphis says it was an absolute pleasure to be doing group content with everyone again. Healing Mythic Plus for the first time was scary, but they are glad to have timed all the dungeons they did. Learning tic-tacs is half the battle. Jellyfish, they are looking at you. Yeah, we really should have picked up what was happening there a little bit faster. Never mind. The raid went great and they look forward to more in the coming weeks. Now on to gearing up their second character to hit 90, a monk.
Cheryl has played WoW, Baldur's Gate 3 and a lot of chill console gaming this week. They've started to get in the swing of Midnight and have not gone as hard as in previous new expansions, as they definitely went too hard at the start of the War Within.
Arrowith is still questing in Harandar and it's her favourite zone so far. She still has Voidstorm to go after this, but has dinged 90. Congrats!
Yay!
A new job is taking up quite a bit of time, so not as much gaming this week. And don't worry, Voidstorm's not going to overtake Harandar as your favourite, I wouldn't have thought.
Amps has only had time for his weeklies, but did also manage to take Pocopia for a spin, and it is 100% everything he thinks the next Animal Crossing should be. Flawless so far.
Stilgar had an awesome time raiding and then getting back into Mythic Plus. He got his Blacksmith 2 epic armour items at max rank and also his 4p set bonus on his warrior, blimey.
Wow.
The chamois was not blessed by the Vault or LFR, but most important part of the week, group content with GGW. Yay!
Yay! And finally, Pastor Matt has been gearing his mage, playing with professions and starting a Haranir druid, he's going to level through lumber in each expansion until he unlocks all the achievements for gathering lumber so it can be done mounted. He's also going to mine and do all the Nessingwary quests to level skilling. When you leave Harandar on your new Haranar, change your Hearthstone or your baby character will end up back in Harandar, and then you'll have a long journey to try and get back to Orgrimmar or Stormwind. I might have very much made this error. I'm like, oh, I wonder where my Hearthstone is set. Oh, not where I thought it should be.
Yeah, sometimes looking where your Hearthstone is set, but discovering this by some medium other than clicking on your Hearthstone is sometimes preferable. Where am I now? Oh, wrong continent. Yeah.
Especially sometimes when you've been doing like an old achievement or something, so you've moved your Hearthstone, you're like, oh,
yeah, just temporarily. I'll move it. Yeah, no,
never remember. And then you end up somewhere and you're like, what bloody hell am I doing here? Well, on that very good top tip, we've reached the end of the show. So if you want to get in touch with us, the best place to find us is on Discord at bit.ly/ggw-discord. We would love it if you could drop us a follow on Blue Sky at GDW Show, or subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is also at GDW Show. Remember, if you've enjoyed the show, drop a like, follow, or a little review on your platform of choice to help other people find us too.
Next week, our tour of the zones moves into Zulaman, the home of the Armani trolls. What did you think about the zone of the story between Zuljara and her brother Zoljan, and how Liadrin works to try and bridge the gap between the two enemy cultures?
good stuff. Thank you for joining us each week. Have a lovely week in Azeroth, and we'll see you in 7 days. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.